Welcome back. It is the start of Episode 5, The Feathered Serpent. And it seems we have to investigate some renegade who has been causing trouble with the Klingons. And we have to be careful about it, because war with the Klingons may be at stake. And we've been doing quite well so far. Let's take a look at our captain's log just for fun.
Captain's log.
And it just shows us all the points we've gotten for all the missions so far. We got 4 points on, well, everything. Another Fine Mess, Love's Labor Jeopardized, Hijacked, and Demon World. That's in reverse order, I guess. Getting us to a total of 16 points. And that plus the weapon system enhancement we just got from the alien ship means that we are probably in a better position to face any battles from here on out. Let's investigate some of the things we've been told about in the captain's log at the beginning. Let's start with Rakur.
Rakur 4, a world in Klingon space, which has belonged to the Empire for at least 4 generations, governed by the Kenka family. The population of Rakur is not known.
Let's just look into Klingons.
Klingons, a humanoid life form that has used genetic manipulation to stratify their population. Their homeworld is Kling. Klingon's culture is based on the principle of survival of the fittest, either through guile or physical force. Principles of honor are used to prevent the culture from killing itself completely, but these principles are extended outside their species only to non-Klingons who have proved themselves in battle. Negotiations over planets in the disputed area have been slowly advancing, hindered by recent Klingon technological exchanges with the Romulans. The Klingon Empire itself is economically backward and poorly organized, but their military force is extremely formidable.
Interesting to refer to the Klingon homeworld as Kling, because while I believe it was mentioned by that name in the original series, and was definitely not established to have any other name in that series, but by the time this game was made, I do believe the name Kronos was already in use, so it's kind of weird that they didn't use that. I guess they just wanted to stick to what was known in the original series, disregarding what had been established after. Yeah, because this was 92, which is even after Star Trek 6 came out, so they definitely had the name Kronos by now. I wonder if the genetic engineering thing is a reference to the difference in appearance, the bumpy foreheads versus smooth foreheads. If that is the case, it would be very interesting, because that is the explanation they eventually went with in Star Trek Enterprise, when they had an episode explaining why that change happened, because they were shown with bumpy foreheads both in Enterprise, which is before the original series, and then in everything happening after the original series, from Star Trek the Motion Picture onwards, which had never been explained. It had been remarked upon by Worf in the awesome DS9 episode, Trials and Tribulations. He just said it was something they do not discuss with outsiders. But then Star Trek Enterprise had, I think, a 3-part story in the 4th season, where they did actually show that it was some genetic experiments that led to them having smooth foreheads during the original series. So, if that was what they're referring to in the computer here, then that must have been entirely coincidental, because I don't think that that explanation was established in any form at that point. So they might just have both come up with the same explanation, or they're just referring to something entirely different. Maybe there was reference to Klingon genetic experiments elsewhere in the original series that I just don't remember. Okay, we also heard about Zamfor.
Zamfor, the third planet in the Digifal system, a Class M world. See Digifal.
Alright, we'll see Digifal then.
Digifal, a system near the Klingon neutral zone. Digifal contains 2 habitable planets, Digifal 3 and Digifal 4. Digifal 3, also known as Zamfor, contains ruins of a civilization that abandoned the planet approximately 20,000 years ago and has been declared a protected world for archaeological reasons.
We should probably also look up the Kenka family who ruled Krakur.
Kenka, Vlicht, a member of the Kenka family, an old Klingonese family of noble origins, the governing family of Krakur. Vlicht is the first Kenka to reach flag rank, and as such, has been posted back away from the frontier. Vlicht has 2 sons in the service, but nothing is known of his wife or other children. He is believed to be the current commander of the Cluta, and one of the most respected commanders in the Klingon fleet. He is said to be an avid fencer.
I'm sure that information will come in useful. Alright. I think it is time we head over to the Digifal system and look into this. Let me check my map. Digifal is in fact over here. Krakur is over here. But we want to go to Digifal. I guess this must be Klingon space. Oh.
Captain, a Klingon battle cruiser has entered the system.
Open hailing frequencies. This is Captain James T. Kirk of the USS Enterprise. Klingon battlecruiser, you are in Federation space. You must leave immediately.
I am Commander Taras of the Nizra. We are in pursuit of a genocidal criminal. We are performing an act of mercy in removing him from your space. Naturally, you will remove your vessel from this system. For your own safety, of course.
I think we can take care of ourselves, Taras, which is more than I can say for you, if the Nizra does not leave Federation space at once.
Alright, we gotta be careful what we say here.
You are in direct violation of the Organian Treaty, mister. If you have a problem, have your fleet commander take it up with them. If a Federation criminal were to pass into Klingon space, you'd be saying the same thing to me. Who do you think you're trying to fool, Taras? Get your ship out of here now.
That doesn't sound like a great thing to say.
I think we can take care of ourselves. You are in direct violation of the Organian Treaty, mister.
I think we want to say this one.
Take it up with them. If a Federation criminal were to pass into Klingon space, you'd be saying the same thing to me.
If we are not allowed to capture this criminal, Captain, you may do this for us. We insist that we remain here to monitor the situation, but we will take no action, provided that you can bring him to us in 12 hours.
Agreed. Vessels of war are not allowed in Federation space. You will pull back to the Organian neutral zone, and do so immediately.
They seem unlikely to acquiesce to that request, and I do want to avoid a battle.
Agreed.
So let's just agree for now. We'll deal with that later. And we're good. Yeah, if you don't say the right thing here, I believe you do get to fight the Klingons. But you don't have to, which is good. Alright, let's enter standard orbit.
Entering standard orbit.
Any advice, Mr. Spock?
I have pinpointed the source of the energy trail from Krakur.
Can we hail it?
Hailing frequencies open.
I guess not. Alright, in that case, we will just beam down to those energy readings, I guess.
Assemble a landing party. Unless we find this so-called criminal, we're going to war.
And we don't want that. I guess we found the criminal. Who is this guy?
You see dense vegetation in all directions. There is a tall, slender, dark-haired man looking intently at you. The moon of Digifal. Legend says that the gods of good and evil fortune live there and will glance back at those who look at them, and either a miracle or a catastrophe will soon befall those who gaze upon it.
Okay.
It looks like the jungle has grown up into a small hut.
Oh, interesting. Is it supposed to be a little house underneath a tree there?
The log appears sturdy enough to cross. There is a tall, slender...
Yep, I already did that.
You are James Tiberius Kirk, captain of the USS Enterprise. Spock is analyzing the surroundings. Lieutenant Strachey is carefully eyeing the humanoid.
Another new security lieutenant. Even though I don't think the last one could die.
McCoy is fidgeting around. He doesn't seem to be in a talkative mood right now.
The humanoid's adornments appear similar to those worn by leaders of Earth's early 20th century inhabitants of the South American continent.
What do you know about Earth culture? He looks like an ancient Aztec.
Interesting.
I'm just a security officer, sir.
You get no response.
Jim, that man is dressed in ancient Aztec clothing.
I believe you are mistaken, Doctor. His clothing bears a distinct resemblance to fashions of a much later period.
Okay. You want to make something of it, or what? Can we tricorder him?
I am picking up strange energy readings from the alien. Perhaps Dr. McCoy could provide better data. Nothing to report, Captain. Nothing to report, Captain. Nothing to report.
Nothing else, I guess. Let's try the medical tricorder then.
He appears human. All life signs are normal, but I'm getting strange energy readings near the base of the pituitary gland.
Interesting. Well, I guess we should try and talk to him.
Greetings, my children. I can barely imagine that you have come so far.
I am Captain James T. Kirk of the Starship Enterprise. Did you know the Klingons are looking for you?
Did his dialogue box just say that was Quetzalcoatl? Okay.
I'm Captain James T. Kirk of the Starship Enterprise. What did you do to get the Klingons so upset? We're not your children, and we don't appreciate this wild goose chase you forced us into.
Now, Kirk, no need to be rude.
I'm Captain
Let's
James
pick
T.
this one.
Kirk of the Starship Enterprise. What did you do to get the Klingons so upset?
Quaint expression. I have done nothing to anger them. I did with them what I have done with everyone.
And exactly what would you have done with them? Entering Klingon space for anything puts the peace in peril. Whatever you did has them very upset. They're raiding worlds looking for you. And exactly what would you have done with them?
Jeopardize the peace? Hardly. Peace is what I preach. I am Quetzalcoatl, as you well know from the proud history of your world.
Quetzalcoatl? How fitting you would name yourself after one of the most bloody-handed gods in Earth's history.
Bloody-handed? My people love peace.
Your followers regularly sacrificed other believers to you after you left, offering you their still-beating hearts.
Kirk just went from saying he named himself after the god to thinking he is the god in the space of about 2 seconds.
Ha! You mean your followers loved pieces? They slaughtered other believers hoping you'd return. Your followers regularly sacrificed
go with this
other
one.
believers to you after you left, offering you their still-beating hearts.
Impossible. You must be lying.
And then your followers were destroyed, Because when white men arrived on that continent, they were believed to be you in your promised return. Your people perverted your teachings, then were destroyed by it.
Foul, lying creatures! My gift was wasted upon you! Be gone!
Well, that's not good.
Clearly are not the inheritors of the noble Aztec world. What you have said has greatly disturbed me. You should not lie so. You shall remain here until you have learned the error of angering Quetzalcoatl.
Okay. He stuck us in a hole. That's not very nice of him. Hardly the first time the Enterprise crew has had to deal with an angry god. Let's hope we can deal with this one too.
You are in a deep pit. It is a long, hard climb to the top.
I don't really know that much about Quetzalcoatl, or his teachings, or his followers, or anything like that, so I don't know how much of what they're saying is true. If he was supposed to have been peaceful and then perverted, or maybe we don't even know that much. Maybe all we know about it is the violence of his followers. At least he's provided a light for us.
There is a light suspended from above by a chain.
There's some vines here.
There is a vine hanging down into the pit. This moss is covered with a very sticky substance. There are rocks here quite suitable for picking up and throwing. This particular snake doesn't seem to like your company and moves whenever you get near it.
It's a shy snake.
James T. Kirk does not seem very happy with his current predicament. Spock is carefully examining the pit. McCoy is examining the floor of the pit. Lieutenant Strachey is carefully examining the pit.
Okay, I get it. Everybody's examining the pit.
He doesn't seem to be in a talkative mood right now.
Those vines would be useful to escape, if we could reach them.
We can reach this one, I think.
Do I look like Houdini to you? I'm afraid you're going to have to pull the rabbit out of the hat on this one.
No enemies in sight, but supplies could be a problem if we don't get out.
Yeah, thanks for that. Very helpful.
I'm picking up residual energy readings from the area where the alien's projection was. I'm picking up residual...
We must have had some kind of projector here, I guess. Are there eyes in there?
Feral red eyes glare out of the dark at you.
I hope those aren't predators.
Nothing to report, Captain. This variety of moss seems to leave a very sticky resin behind, perhaps to trap the large amounts of pollen from the plants on the surface and use it as a secondary food source.
Don't think that's what we're really interested in right now.
A pile of small igneous rocks, Captain. It looks like a Xanthorian pit snake, a rather common species in this region, noted by galactic herpetologists for their quickness. It is not venomous or dangerous to humans.
Really? It's that quick? Oh, yes. It heads off into that hole, but it does come back.
There is a tiny hole in the wall at this point. Certainly no human could crawl through here.
No, I wasn't planning on using that hole to escape, thanks.
It would appear that this is where the snake lives, Captain.
Well, the snake isn't dangerous, so I guess we don't need to worry about it too much.
This vine is not likely to support our weight by itself, Captain. You would have to find some way to reinforce it.
Okay, well that's annoying. We can't just climb up.
The vine will not support you.
We need something to reinforce it, presumably more vines.
The vine will not support you.
We can't reach those. But there is a pile of rocks here, suitable for throwing, apparently.
You pick up some rocks from the pile.
So let's get those.
These rocks are smooth and spherical, perfect for throwing.
Okay. Let's see if we can hit those vines.
Fascinating. It did appear to knock the vine down near to the point where one of us can reach it.
Didn't they have baseball on Vulcan? Show us your fastball, Jim.
Baseball? No one plays that anymore. Good try, though, sir.
Just wait. Captain Sisko will revive it in the 24th century. Even ends up playing...
The probability of getting the vine on the second try was only 36.53%. Well done, Captain.
Probability? That was a perfect pitch if I ever saw one.
All right. We're on our way.
Even ends up playing a game against the Vulcans, so that's kind of interesting. I guess we can try and get out of here now. And he shimmies up the vine in kind of a funny looking animation, if you ask me. Unfortunately, it is not necessary to wait for all of them to climb up. You just walk off screen, and everybody will have joined us automatically. It looks like we're still in the same jungle on Digifall. I guess we should try to find Quetzalcoatl again and explain what we were talking about, that we were not in fact lying. Or try to find some way off the planet. Speaking of which, can we actually just not...
Fascinating. Our communicators have apparently been rendered ineffective.
Well, that's annoying. That would have solved a lot of problems.
You are in a densely vegetated area. The overgrowth blocks your view in all directions. This great tree has been in this jungle for centuries.
Unless somebody moved it here. Wait, what?
Trees to the left of you. Trees to the right of you. Into the valley of trees raced the landing party.
Of course.
You are in a densely trees to the left of you.
No, I can't look at these weird rocks here.
You are in a densely
That's the moon again. Can't look at it this time, though.
Kirk is wondering what he said that made Quetzalcoatl so angry.
Well, basically, he said his legacy was distorted and became violent. His followers became violent. And he didn't believe him. That's the short version of that.
Spock is examining the surrounding terrain for signs of danger. Anything else would be illogical.
Okay.
McCoy is filled with premonitions of injury and death. Why else would they have brought him along?
Because he's always on the landing party? Doesn't mean we think there will be injury and death on this mission.
Lieutenant Strachey appears fascinated by the vines hanging from the trees.
Yes, they're fascinating.
He doesn't seem to be in a talkative mood right now.
Kirk has nothing to say on this mission, apparently.
Staying in this overgrown region could prove quite dangerous. I suggest we continue, Captain.
I don't think there's anything dangerous here. But then I didn't know that Spock would die on the Arc 7 mission if you didn't get the cure fast enough, so I could be wrong.
This jungle is sure lush, Jim. Speaking of lush, I could use a nice Saurian brandy about now.
You and me both.
I feel like someone is watching us, Captain.
There are a lot of eyes around. I don't know if they're
Feral red eyes glare out of the dark at you.
actually watching us so much as just animals.
I am reading a life form to the west. It appears to be humanoid.
Interesting. Quetzalcoatl, perhaps?
Nothing to report, Captain. Nothing to report, Captain.
Nothing interesting about the trees, I guess. Let's go to the west, then. Oh, that is
I
definitely
am
not.
Tolokzak, priest of Quetzalcoatl. Only one who knows his ways may approach his holy ground.
Okay. Unfortunately, I don't know his ways, so we're gonna have a problem there.
You look but see nothing of note. Towering over your security officer, holding a great spear in his huge hand, the great warrior Tolokzak will let no one pass him.
Alright then.
Primitive lights illuminate this savage scene.
Interesting. They had a much more modern looking light in the pit. Anything else? Doesn't look like it.
Your security officer looks at you for orders and perhaps inspiration.
Sure.
You are James Tiberius Kirk, captain of the USS Enterprise. Spock looks small compared to the great warrior.
Spock is pretty strong, though, as a Vulcan.
McCoy seems rather nervous.
Probably because of this guy.
Nice planet. I kind of like it.
Sure.
Perhaps our host will be more reasonable now. I recommend trying to locate him, Captain.
That is, in fact, what I was trying to do, so...
He doesn't seem to be in a talkative mood right now.
Did you ever get the feeling that people don't like you?
All the time, why do you ask?
Nothing unusual here, Captain. Nothing to report, Captain. Fascinating. These lights are actually swarms of bioluminescent insects. I wonder how they are controlled.
That is pretty interesting.
Well, either this Aztec is a real flesh and blood human being, or I'm going to be retired as soon as I get back to the Enterprise.
Okay, we'll throw you a retirement party.
These lamps are made up of insects much like fireflies, Jim.
Can we talk to this guy?
I will not listen to your deceitful ways.
The answer is no.
Save new game. Replace.
Let's see how we can get past this guy. Can our security officer fight him?
All right. Time for some action. Let me show you how we did it at the Academy. Captain, do you realize how big this guy is?
Maybe we can just use our phasers.
Still inoperative, Captain.
Yes, I guess they don't work, just like the communicator. So, that isn't an option. Can Spock fight him?
Captain, I do not think that I can defeat him in personal combat.
What about your famous nerve pinch?
It is unlikely to work on a man of that size, Doctor.
Damn, he noticed.
We do, however, have some rocks. And
Tolokzak falls to the ground unconscious.
He dropped a knife, Jim.
what do you know? That works. It is, however, probably not the most peaceful way of dealing with this guy. So we'll try to find another way of dealing with him. But we'll have to do that in the next video.